דוקטור דן דייקר, נשיא המרכז הירושלמי לענייני ציבור ומדינה, JCPA. בבקשה.
Chairwoman Haskel, thank you very much. I want to reassure all of our foreign dignitaries that Israeli politicians actually do speak English. So everyone who spoke Hebrew, because they want to make sure that the policy messages are conveyed, is important. But I'm going to speak with you in English, which is my native tongue, having been born and grown up in the United States, in New York, and having worked in Israel for the last 35 years, and have witnessed this country develop, and have also witnessed what has become one of the great campaigns of vile propaganda against Israel that Hamas's immoral clarity on October 7th taught everyone in this room, I'm speaking of Israelis and our foreign dignitaries alike, a teachable moment, a moral lesson. And it's very important that all of you are here with us today, because this, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chairman, Madam Chairwoman, is a moment of moral clarity for everybody. Israel woke up on October the 7th. The Hamas dominated its own state. There were no Jews in Gaza. This was a country, de facto, that committed billions of your dollars, American taxpayer dollars, European Union taxpayer dollars, and the taxpayer dollars of many of the people, of the fine dignitaries sitting in this room, to build the most robust underground terror network in the world that makes the London Underground look like kindergarten. And they use their own public, which today they are starving, weaponizing them in order to advance what has become one of the major forward bases of the Iranian regime, which is another teachable moment for Israel. We thought that we were in a territorial conflict opposite the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. And in fact, Israel actually had deceived itself into thinking, as Yahya Sinwar and Ismail Haniyeh and the other billionaires, you know, $11 billion of your money is in their pockets right now as they enjoy the Four Seasons Hotel in Doha. As we discuss, as member of Knesset Davidson said, what was a 36-hour Holocaust, unknown in modern political history, the mass rape and massacre of children. And they're sitting in Doha. And we wonder where the international community is in standing up in this new moral moment. And when we think of UNRWA, UNRWA, by the way, is one of the weaponized organizations of the Iranian regime. This is not a war against Hamas per se. This is a war against the Iranian regime octopus, with tentacles in Gaza, tentacles in the Hezbollah, tentacles in the Red Sea, which is now shutting down a large degree of international shipping, which is a casus belli according to international war. This is an Iranian regime war against the free world, ladies and gentlemen. And the UN and UNRWA has become a major machinery of terror for the Iranian regime. So let's just contextualize the problem that everyone in this room equally faces. It's not just about Israel. It's about each one of you. And if you want our world to be a world of liberty, of freedom, of the values that everyone in this world, in this room cherishes, we have to begin to think about, in Gaza, how we move in a multi-staged way to the deconstruction of UNRWA over time, but in the immediate future now, when they talk about, there's a great saying now since October the 7th, Yom HaCharei, the day after is now. Just the way those who came out of Birkenau and the other death camps Nazis said never again. Never again is now. And the UN and UNRWA has to be part of Never Again is Now, because that organization under UN sanction, intolerable, a moral disgrace, inciting the world to genocide against the Jews, and assisting the Iranian regime and Hamas. And what we must do now is form an international coalition, as my friend Michal Radochitsky has said, and also Ambassador Leshno Yar, and also Grisha, an international supervisory body now, in order to monitor on every dollar that goes into UNRWA, every truckload, every dollar, to make sure that the men and women of Gaza and the children are receiving the humanitarian aid that they deserve, and while we also worry about bringing back our hostages at the same time. But I'm calling now for an international supervisory body now on UNRWA, not to disband it tomorrow, but to supervise it and make sure that the hundreds of millions of dollars go to where it's supposed to go and not be used in order to fuel this machinery of international terror. Thank you, John.
תודה רבה לך, דוקטור דן דייקר.